Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Emmerdale's Samson in court, Coronation Street's new story and Hollyoaks exits. This week, Emmerdale has previewed the potential conclusion to the much-talked-about storyline involving Samson Dingle and Josh Cope, as Samson has his day in court. Elsewhere, new characters are arriving in both Albert Square and the Dales. There are some big exits in Hollyoaks, and there's also a huge new story for Coronation Street's Bethany. Summer in Soapland is set to get very dramatic, so here's our usual Sunday roundup of all the biggest stories from the past 7 days. Samson has had a difficult few months since he became friends with local thug Josh. A robbery ended up with Samson getting stabbed accidentally by Maddie, but Samson lied and said Maddie stabbed him deliberately. He later came to his senses and changed his statement, but kept Josh's name out of it, so Samson is now facing serious charges himself. Next week, the dramatic story will come to a head when Samson finally stands up to Josh and ends up assaulting his former friend. He later has his plea hearing, with Samson making it clear that he intends to plead guilty. Lydia arrives in the wool pack with news from the court. What has happened, and what consequences will Samson face? Last month it was announced that former Corey star Oliver Farnworth had been cast in fellow ITV soap Emmerdale as new character John Subden, who's a member of the legendary family. It's now been confirmed that John will make his first appearance in the show next week, in a story that begins with Eric Pollard's car breaking down as he is set to attend an old friend's funeral. Victoria offers to drive Eric, and once there she gets chatting to John, the son of the deceased woman. She is shocked when he introduces himself as a Subden, and Eric tells her that he could be her half-brother. Last month, John was pictured carrying someone out of a burning barn alongside Kane, so there's bound to be high drama ahead. Our friends at Inside Soap are hosting their annual Soap Awards next month, and while voting remains open, stars from all your favorite shows have teamed up to take part in some fabulous nominees' photoshoots. This week it was the turn of Coronation Street, with several popular actors from the show coming together to celebrate their success. Their photoshoot appears in this week's edition of Inside Soap. Digital Spy got exclusive video access to the shoot, so check out our behind-the-scenes footage above. We got all the gossip from Peter Ash, Daniel Brocklebank, Callum Lill, Chanique Sterling-Brown, Vicky Myers, Samia Longchamben, and Lucy Fallon. Plus, keep your eyes peeled for some more soap photoshoots in the coming weeks. Speaking of Lucy Fallon, in Digital Spy's exclusive chat, she revealed that her character Bethany Platt has a big story coming up in the next few weeks and months. It's going to be quite dramatic, quite emotional, which she should be used to right now, she said. It's a good one for me to get my teeth into, but it's going to be quite an emotional one for Bethany, playing into her insecurities. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Shortly after this, it was reported that Bethany is set to be part of a shocking new surgery storyline, although this hasn't yet been confirmed by Corey. In the important storyline, Bethany becomes increasingly insecure about her appearance, which leads her to fly abroad for cosmetic surgery, but the procedure won't go as planned. This week in EastEnders, Nish Panesar discovered that Suki and Vinny have been plotting against them, so he has set his sights on revenge. He asked Ivani to help him find Aisha, an old acquaintance of his and Suki's, telling his granddaughter that he wanted to reconnect. It was announced last month that Leila Ruas would be joining the show as Aisha for a short stint. It's since been confirmed that she will make her first appearance on the show next week, and it will be revealed who she really is. More than 2 decades ago, Nish killed his neighbor when he suspected he was having an affair with Suki, which led to his long prison stint. But last year, Suki told him that she actually had feelings for the man's wife, Aisha. Next week, Ayesha's arrival will ruffle feathers and will come as a shock to not only Suki but Eve. It'll be an eventful time for the beloved couple, and feeling threatened, Eve decides to propose to Suki. What will she say? As Hollyoaks approaches its big time jump in September, a number of the current cast will be saying goodbye to the village in the weeks ahead. This week, the show aired huge exits for not one but 2 much-loved characters, and they both left in brutal style. The first exit was Norma Crowe. As Warren's mother was shot dead in her flat by the mystery gangster Blue, he didn't even have the courtesy to reveal his identity before he killed her. To make matters worse, her family believe that she's gone away to Italy, so her body is yet to be discovered. Glynis Barber, who filmed her final scenes as Norma in June, posted on Instagram, "It's been a blast at Hollyoaks official. Goodbye Norma Crow, it was fun inhabiting you for these past 2 years." Later this week, Bo Ramsey finally broke under pressure and confessed that he murdered Declan Hawthorne, but he made sure not to mention Kitty. She, as well as Tony and Diane, visited him in prison, but he then decided to stop all visits from his family from now on. It was reported in June that John Paul Bell was set to exit the show, and Digital Spy understands that Bo's decision to cut contact with his family marked his final appearance in Hollyoaks. There's a fun Hollyoaks/Corey crossover about to hit our screens next month, as it's been reported that the son of Jack P. Shepherd, aka Corey's David Platt, is set to join the cast of Hollyoaks. Reuben Shepherd will take over the role of Curtis Royal, who's Grace Black's son. Now out of prison after faking a serious illness, Grace's next mission is to try and get her son back, and it appears that this will be explored in upcoming episodes. Crucially, it's been reported that Shepherd's first scenes are set to air from September 30, after the show jumps ahead in time by a year. So will Curtis be back with Grace in 12 months' time? We're still reeling from the sad news that Ryan Maloney will be leaving his iconic role of Toady Rebecchi in Neighbours later this year. But this week it was revealed that, surprisingly, it wasn't actually Maloney's choice to depart the show. It was their choice, the actor said. "I've been wanting to leave for quite a long time, but Neighbours is one of those jobs that you work with awesome people. I'm quite grateful that they actually made that decision for me, because I don't think that I could ever say no to a contract. I think I'd always be kind of like, oh yes, okay, I'll do another one. And that's kind of not the way you want to be doing Neighbours. You don't want to have that kind of level of resentment in there, so I was very grateful for it."